going on, my strong friends? This is Gabe Pena, the Texas Titan. We've got some heavy hex bar on the agenda for tonight's lifts. All my athletes are getting started working on their hex bar sets. I've got a goal in mind of 1,000 pounds for some reps today. We'll see if the knees can handle it, but I'm feeling really good after yesterday's log session. After the heavy hex bar, we'll move on to my favorite, the Ukrainian deadlift. So heavy deadlifts ahead, getting loosened up and ready to go. I'm excited. How many of the other guys have that kind of balance? There I was just kind of adjusting my hips, making sure the right side was just as loose and ready to go as the left side. That airplane hip tilt mimics a similar angle to where chiropractors might adjust your hips. So I was using my body weight to do the work for me, getting those joints ready for some heavy deadlifts. Push it far, let's see what you got. 4, come on. Good. 6. Go on. Good. 8. Good. Come on. There's more. Good. I've been doing hex bar deadlifts for the better part of the past 5 years, and especially every year since I've been a pro. It's such an ergonomic lift, and it just really builds the raw engine pushing power of the body in the deadlift range of motion. A lot of guys are so quick to get extra fancy with adding bands, adding chains, contrast platforms, this, that. I feel like the hex bar gives you a unique opportunity to just really allow the body to feel weight far exceeding what you can do on a barbell. So the hips, the lower back, the postural muscles, they get a chance to tap into a zone that you couldn't otherwise, and you come out on the other side very strong because of it. I love implementing the hex bar on days in training where I'm focusing on my leg push power. So if there's a leg day where, say, instead of just doing your conventional squats, I'll actually treat the hex bar as the primary lift on that day. It's still working my push power, a very ergonomic lift, but I know it's going to power up my deadlift far more than some of the other leg accessories I could be doing. All right, we've got 825 pounds on the bar. It's going to go for 1 rep, should be around 370 kilos at that mark. 1 rep, and then depending on how that feels, maybe 1 more, but then it'll be time for the big grand. Now we've got 1,005 pounds on the bar. We're gonna take it for a series of reps. See how it feels. I have not done this type of weight anywhere close to it on the hex bar since injuring my knees earlier this summer. So not only will 1 rep be a training PR, but I really want to do more than 1 rep. Anything's a victory with 1,005 pounds, but I want a wild ride. Oh, it's been a while. I have not done that weight since before I hurt my knees, so to get 1 at 1,005 feels amazing, but I wanted reps. That's what I got. It was heavy off the ground for sure. You know, the whole course of this knee injury thing, it's been hard to tap into that power off the ground and just get the knees to really engage. But at 1,005 pounds on a hex bar, that's some dead ass weight. And the knees stood up to the task, even though it was a grind. 2 reps, and it's only going up. There we go. So the trap bar of the hex bar has a lot of unique benefits specific to the bar compared to another barbell or an axle. Plenty of reasons why I like to use it in my training. The main one, it's such an ergonomic lift. You're perfectly centered. The bar doesn't deviate in front of the body or behind the body. It's in a prime position to put the body in a very, very powerful stance to lift the most amount of weight possible. So what you wind up getting from that is practice with locking out weights that are far exceeding your normal barbell deadlift weight from the ground. Because of that ergonomic aspect to it, it's very easy in rehab regimens. I'm rehabbing some knee injuries. I'm perfectly balanced, like I was saying, not deviating forward with a barbell in front of the body. I'm centered. I can really focus on even power from the hex bar itself with that parallel grip, the neutral grip. We're in a prime position to really train the traps, a lot of the posterior shoulder support muscles too. And then again, goes back to that overload concept. They have the luxury of feeling what these super heavy loads are like before you can even get to training them on a barbell. So biggest reasons with the hex bar, you build that engine size, it's ergonomic, easy to train through injuries, and a lot of the upper back musculature really benefits from these super heavy loads that you otherwise couldn't get. We're doing my personal favorite deadlifts, the Ukrainian deadlift. It's a very unique deadlift. Not too many people use it nowadays, but there's a specific reason why I include this in my training regimen. I've got 375 pounds on the bar right now, just a bit upwards of 150 kilos. So warming up, and then we're gonna get a little heavier on this one too. So the Ukrainian deadlift, if you think of what other strongman movements it mimics, it's very similar to the starting position of the Atlas stones. But that start position, wide open foot stance, plenty of space for the hips and the belly to sink down. But with that wide stretch, hips up high, knees out wide, it's a very vulnerable starting position for these muscles. And when muscles are made weak, that's when they're challenged. If you can get them stronger in that vulnerable zone, the carryover to any other hip hinged motion is immense. So I use these specifically to get my lower back and my hips fortified as hell for some big barbell deadlifts. 555 pounds loaded up. So this is getting right around to the zone where I start saying it feels heavy. Probably 2 or 3 reps here. So I've used Ukrainian deadlifts for well over 5 years now. A lot of my early days doing them was off of a chain type setup. Just bought a section of chain from the hardware store, threw a handle on it, stacked up some plates. I had this handle made custom by Mike Bartos. It's got a super loadable sleeve length for some very, very heavy Gabe size deadlifts. But this fixed type of movement with this exact setup in the custom made boxes I had, I've been doing this one for about 3 years. And my deadlift speaks for itself. You put me on any type of barbell, any type of axle, any hex bar, or a Bavarian stone lift, I'm gonna do very well, and I credit this specifically for it. Not to mention making sure that Atlas stone picks off the ground never get stuck or glued. They're always coming up. This year's been a little bit iffy with the Atlas stone runs of giants because I've been working through knee injuries. It's taking me a bit of extra time to clunkily run over to that first stone and get onto the platform. But once I'm going, I'm really good at finding that one motion stone to tower for each consecutive rep. The only thing is with those heavier stones, you get a lot of similarities to the power drive of a front squat. And that's for the knees. Give me a little bit of fight. But all that deadlift power, especially from lifts like this Ukrainian deadlift, pay off big time in making sure I can still squeeze those reps out. But 2022, when the knees are fully behind me, the big guys better watch out. Tom, Trey, Evan, I'm coming for some big stone runs. We got 700 pounds on the Ukrainian deadlift, and this is a lift where 700 pounds on here is comparable to 900 pounds on the bar from the ground. It's gonna feel nice and heavy, but good way to polish off a workout in a training session. Whoa! Ah! Yeah! Oh! Oh yeah! That felt good. My favorite type of deadlift. Oh. The knees are back. No, I'm not gonna. Right after I say the knees are back, got a little bit ways to go before a post deadlift box jump. It's a super maximal kind of day. It's a Thursday at Alpha Fit. We're all about heavy deadlifts, but today my focus is on that maximal upper level end of effort. Tomorrow I'll actually tie in the whole workout and hit some accessories. On big days like deadlifts, this 2-day approach not only does it mimic a 2-day competition that I might find myself in the future, needing to recover and then perform again, but with how long these movements take to set up, there's no pressure to try to shortchange myself on a big important movement and then try to accompany with some accessories. I don't need to squeeze into one day, I can separate it. And that works for me. Maybe not everyone, but I love it.